Well, good morning. Welcome back to another video. This morning we're out in the countryside of northern Kentucky, just taking some images as the sun comes up. Yeah, it's pretty early in the morning. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I've been able to get out. Sorry about that. It looks like I've missed basically all of the fall colors, or the vast majority of them. I've had a terrible cold, and my work schedule and everything just made it pretty much impossible. So sorry about that. I really wanted to catch more of the fall colors, which we're not going to get, but we got a nice sunrise going on this morning. So what I thought we'd do is, come out, take a couple images, and talk about what I'm holding here, give you my first impressions on it. Seeing how these are the first images I've taken with it since I got it, kind of explain why I have it, and see what we could come up with. So, thanks for coming along, everybody. Let's take a couple images and see what we get. All right, so what do I have here in my hands? What I've got is a Leica Q. All right, not a Q2, not a Q3, not a Q343. This is a Leica Q, the 116, the very first version of the Leica Q that came out. This camera here is about 9 years old. All right. So why did I pick one of these up? Birthday present to myself. Always wanted to own a Leica. Wanted something I could just, small and easy and simple. I could take pictures of my grandkids when they come over, just grab it and shoot and see what I could come up with, So that's really why I got it. Not because I don't like my Micro Four Thirds stuff, or not because I don't like something else. It's just more of a personal, choice. Something I've always wanted to have as a photographer. Leica's a highly sought after, product. They're expensive and hard to come up with, and they take great images, and you have great colors, but, I just wanted one really just so I could capture images of my grandkids as they grow up, and, kind of snapshots and things like that, something pretty easy to use. So, if you don't know much about the Leica Q series, whether it's the Q, the Q2, the Q3, all right, basically, for lack of a better term, it's a point-and-shoot camera, a very expensive point-and-shoot camera. If you look today at the Leica Q3, which is what's the current version, it's over $6,000. The Q3 43, which just came out, is closer to $7,000. When this camera sold back in 2016, 2015 time frame, it was, almost $5,000. All right, so they're incredibly expensive. Well built in Germany, hand assembled. They're basically a tank. They last forever. As long as you take care of them, you're going to get, a long, useful life out of them. So, that's anything like it, not just the Q series, but this is a great little camera, for just wanting to carry around and grab a picture, something to keep with you every single day. It has 24 megapixels. The ones today are 60 megapixels, but this one has 24 megapixels. Has a fixed lens. It's a 28 1.7 fixed lens. Apparently The lens itself, if you were to buy it on its own, is roughly, if you bought it new, was right about $5,000. So what people say is it's really just a lens with the camera body attached to it. Yeah, it's fixed. You can't change lenses out. It is what it is. No, so kind of an oddball thing, especially for somebody like me who doesn't like shooting primes. But it's just something I wanted to try. Now, I picked this thing up at Robert's Camera, off of eBay actually. Robert's Camera in Indianapolis. People I've worked with for years. You know, they're a good company. They don't sponsor me in any way, shape, or form, but certainly if you're looking for gear, used or new, don't be afraid to try Roberts out of Indianapolis. They've been around for a lot of years and they do a really good job. You know, so, you know, little things, another thing about the Q. One of the biggest arguments to the Q, one of the biggest no-nos, I guess, or heads up is this isn't weather sealed, all right, and it is prone to for some reason getting dust inside and on the actual sensor itself, which the only way you can clean it is you have to send it to, you know, to Leica, and they take care of it. So, and it's pretty expensive. So the first thing I did when I got this was I took a picture of my ceiling, you know, this morning, you know, and we set it at f16, took a picture of the ceiling and to see what I could get. And sure enough, there's a couple of spots on here, you know. So I'll send a message to Roberts and see what they want to do. So I may end up sending this back. I may not keep it because it does have some dust in it. But I still wanted to get out and take some shots with it. You know, so what are we doing here? What kind of shots am I taking? The sun's coming up, you know, and I'm, you know, just setting. Basically, I've done a couple different things already. You know, I've set myself at f11, f8. I've done just shooting in basically automatic just to see what I would get. Just kind of testing it out to see what it does. It does have in-body stabilization, but I have it turned off. All right, I just want to try it all handheld. All right, and so as you can see here, as I'm, you know, taking a shot, yeah, it's, you know, just basically point and shoot. Now right now I'm sitting at f11, you know, taking an image. This one, actually I take that back. This one's at f8. You know, and further, if I use this, continue to use it, we'll get a little bit more detailed on it. But, you know, it's not too heavy. You know, it's pretty simple to use. I mean, I haven't read a manual. I don't even have a manual. I just grabbed it and picked it up and started shooting with it. So first impressions, let's do this. All right, take a couple shots here. Let's move to another location. Take another image or two, see how they turn out. I'll give you a couple more thoughts about this when we get there. So thanks for coming along, everybody. All right, so we've actually stopped on the way here to where I'm at currently. I stopped at a church that was built back in the 1800s, been around since the 1800s. Took a couple images of that. If any of those turned out, I'll put one or two of them in here so you can see it. All right, so now where are we? We're back to a place we've been a couple times. Actually, I think this is a place I came when I was testing out an OM1 Mark II. Little barn up here on the hill. Sun comes up somewhere behind it. It's about sunrise time now. All right, so we're going to capture a couple images here, different spots, just to see what we get. F16. All right, so I captured a couple images here with, f8, f16. I don't know how they'll turn out, but we'll put them in, here right now so you can see. All right, so first opinions here on the Leica Q. It's simple to shoot. It's built well. It's pretty easy to adjust, whether you want to do it in auto or you want to adjust, what aperture you're shooting at. It's pretty simple to figure out. Hold on here where the car goes by. It's actually pretty good. I mean, it's a lot of people talk about it just being a pleasure to hold and use, and it's kind of how it feels. I mean, it's built well and it's simple and easy to use and does exactly what you need it to do. So can't find anything not to like at this point, other than the dust that I found on the sensor this morning. Keep trying it, see how it turns out. But let's move around here and try another picture or two. Now, one thing I find here shooting with this fixed lens, especially at 28 millimeters, is it's hard to get, at least from a landscape perspective. I mean, it's kind of, you can't see it, but hopefully I can turn this around a little bit. You can see it. If you look over here, you see the barn, all right, but you see this tree here, and in the viewfinder, it's hard to get the entire tree in because it's close, which you really like to have it as a foreground element. Makes it difficult, because you can't zoom in or out and adjust it the way you want. So you got to use your feet to do it. And sometimes that's not really a possibility. So, it makes it a little bit difficult. But beyond that, this thing is really pretty simple and easy to shoot. Again, image quality, everybody says, is fantastic. We'll find out once I get a chance to edit these images and put this video together. But now it certainly is a pretty decent, camera. So I think at this point, depending on what Roberts responds with questions about the dust, I don't know. I certainly would like to keep it. I kind of like it, but we'll see. Time will tell, whether I'm going to keep it or not. But it is, a pleasure to shoot. Now, if anybody out there has one, or has shot one before, share some comments down below. Let me know, what you think of it. So why, beyond what I said earlier, why would I want something like this? If you remember, back in June, I was in Germany and in France on a river cruise with my wife. And when we were in Strasbourg, I went into a camera store, and I might even have mentioned this in the previous video. Now, I went into the camera store, and it was a Leica store, and I asked them if they had a Q3, and they didn't. But they did have a Q2, so they let me hold it. And I thought, man, this thing feels pretty decent, pretty nice in my hand. It was pretty simple to use. It's like, at some point, maybe I should try to, own something like that, because it kind of intrigued me just because of the way it felt and being able to hold it. And if you remember back in I think it was April. It was in April when I was in the Netherlands. I was in Keukenhof Gardens. I actually saw somebody using a Leica Q. It was a Q2 at that time, taking images, and they couldn't stop ranting and raving about how great it was. So it kind of, made me think maybe I should have something like that. And then, we all like to buy things. So, all right, so I like to buy camera gear. I can't help it. All right, and it's, kind of something that just brings a little bit of pleasure. It brings me a little bit of joy, in a difficult time in a difficult world. So, hopefully I haven't ranted too much. Hopefully this video makes some sense, because I really didn't plan it out or anything. I just figured I'd just come out and take some shots and share what I got. But, it's always a great pleasure just to get out in the morning and enjoy the atmosphere and enjoy the sun coming up. It's something I really look forward to, something I really appreciate and really enjoy. All right, so I'll end the video here. just say, thanks for coming along, everybody. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of, Leica. Tell me what you think of, anything you really is on your mind. I love reading that stuff. Give the video a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. I realize I'm not the greatest videographer. I'm not the world's greatest photographer, and I'm not, I'm just, just trying to get out and enjoy and share some of my experiences. So thanks for coming along, everybody. Till we see you again, stay safe.